Okay, algebra part one. Day 12 notes. We're graphing inequalities today. Some steps. All right, we're graphing lines like we always did before. We're trying to graph everything in y equals mx plus b form. The only thing different for day 12 is that they're inequalities. So instead of an equal sign, we're going to have greater than or less than. So first step is always to solve for y. Get y by itself. All right, some of them are done for you. Some of them you have to do maybe off on the side somewhere. Once you solve for y, right, we're looking for our m and our b, or our slope and our y-intercept. So we're going to graph using slope and y-intercept. Right, remember m is slope, b is the y-intercept. All right, the only thing different for inequalities, once you have your line graphed, there's two other things we have to take into account for, all right? One is our shading. So number 3, we're gonna worry about our shading. When you solve for y, if you end up with like y is less than or equal to something, you're gonna shade below. All right, shade below the line. If you end up with y is greater than or equal to something, you're gonna shade above. We'll do some examples in a minute. The other thing, once you get done shading, maybe even before the shading, you should probably think about, is it a solid line or a dotted line? All right, so solid versus dotted. Or dashed line, whatever you want to call it. All right, so if you have y is less than, this is going to be a dotted line. If you have y is less than or equal to, this will be a solid line. All right, same idea if it's greater than. All right, if it's y is greater than something, it's also dotted. If it's y is greater than or equal to, it's solid. All right. Let's try a couple examples. Number 1, y is greater than or equal to 3x minus 1. First step's done for you. Y is already by itself, so you're good there. Step 2, we're going to graph this thing using our slope and y-intercept. So a little review, identify the slope and y-intercept. You can tell just by looking at the equation, hopefully, right? M is 3, or 3 over 1. Your y-intercept is -1. All right, we're going to graph this. Again, hopefully have a ruler. If not, if you don't even have your notes, just freehand it, that's fine. You get the idea. All right, remember you start with the y-intercept. This is where it crosses the y-axis at -1. That's your first point. So put your point there. You want to leave your pen or pencil there for a second. Using that point, we're going to find the next point using the slope of 3 over 1. So you're going to rise 3 over 1. All right, you can do that several times if you wanted to. Up 3 over 1. So your line's going to be here. Before you actually draw the line, though, you want to stop and think for a second. We have the equation or inequality, y is greater than or equal to 3x minus 1. All right, it's greater than or equal to, so is it solid or dotted? Well, it has an equal to sign, so it's going to be a solid line. All right, you also can think about, are we going to shade above or below our line? Since it's greater than, all right, we're going to shade above the line. So you can draw your line in, if you haven't already, solid line. All right, we're going to shade above, so you don't have to color it all in, just make it look like it's been shaded above the line. All right, hopefully that makes sense. That would be above the line. This would be below the line. All right. Let's do another example on the next page. Let's try number 2. This one, y is less than 1/2 x plus 3. Again, it's already y is by itself, so you don't have to do any work there. Identify your slope and y-intercept. All right, hopefully Hopefully you can see the slope is 1/2, the y-intercept is 3. Before you even graph it, is it solid or dotted? Well, its y is less than, not equal to, so this is a dotted line. All right, you're going to shade above or below. Well, its y is less than all of this, so you're going to shade below. All right, two important things that you haven't done much of before. So let's go ahead and graph this. Drawing your x and y axes. Again, if you don't have the notes, you can just make an x, y axis and freehand it. That's fine for now. All right, again, start with a y-intercept of 3. That's your first point. All right, hopefully you're labeling. You got it labeled. Y-intercept. Rise over run is your slope, so up 1/2, up 1/2. Again, you can keep following that same pattern, up 1/2 a few times. This is a dotted line though, or a dashed line, so don't connect the whole thing, all right? If you've done delta math yet, it does it for you. You just gotta click on it, it dashes it, or makes it solid for you. All right, so there's my line, and I'm gonna shade below the line, so shade below. All right, you should also label y is less than 1/2 x plus 3. All right, try the rest of the notes. Pretty much the same example or same idea every question, so give it a shot.